All right, we are here with Matt Barnes, a.k.a. Matty Backpacks. I asked you earlier this season how you feel about that nickname. You were kind of feeling it. Do you even know where it comes from?
Honestly, no. I have no idea.
So there was like one night, had to have been in like 2015, where you had friends in town that were like, we have mutual friends from Connecticut.
Right.
You came out to the bar with us, and you were wearing a backpack, and that's just kind of frowned upon when you wear a backpack to the bar, and I called you Matty Backpacks. And that's it's just lived on ever since then.
And now it's stuck.
But now it's just like...
It's the thing.
It's a cultural phenomenon.
Yep.
Where it's a term of endearment versus I was making fun of you for wearing a backpack in the bar on like a Friday in May. But
it had to have been coming from the field.
Probably. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Had to have been.
Yeah.
With the backpack to the field.
Right. Yeah. No, that's where it comes from. Okay. I don't even think we've ever explained that on the podcast before. People just kind of accept it. They just roll with it.
Yep. Absolutely.
So I was there the night of your Major League debut. And I guess because you were drafted and you were being groomed as a starting pitcher.
Correct.
Came in as a reliever. Talk about the mindset change of you're a guy that's drafted as a starter. You've been a starter, and there's obviously you take pride in being a starter.
Correct.
And it's like, okay, you got to crack in as a reliever. How has your mindset changed to adapt to being a elite reliever? Which I'll use that term, elite.
So. In my debut, honestly, I didn't care what it was, what the role was. I was just excited to be out there, and I was trying to keep my composure.
Yeah. Do you remember who was the team?
The Orioles.
Okay.
The Orioles.
And they didn't stink that year.
They were stacked up.
Yeah.
They were stacked up. I remember first three hitters I had to face were Alejandro De Aza, Nelson Cruz, and Adam Jones. Here you go.
Yeah.
So
welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah, right. So we. I was just excited to be out there, honestly, and to be in the big leagues. But I've been fortunate enough to have guys that I kind of, when I came up, I had some guys in the pen who really kind of helped me transition into that role. One of them being Craig Breslow.
Yeah.
When I came up, he, veteran of the Red Sox and being in the league, and talked to him a ton about it. Tommy Lane helped me. Workman helped me. I was fortunate enough to have those guys, and it's the biggest thing is as a starter, you got to go to the lineup 2 or 3 times, and you got to try and figure out how to manipulate a lineup that many times over. As a reliever, I'm coming in, and here it is. Yeah. Here's my stuff. I'm blowing it out.
So for you though, obviously you're going to get to the big leagues and be like, I'll take a spot anywhere that I can get it. But
without a doubt.
Was there ever? When was the point where you were like, all right, I'm a big league reliever? Because obviously I'm sure that there was a point,
right,
where you're thinking, all right, I'll get in as a reliever, but I'm a starter. I want to go back to starting. What point did you sort of let go of, all right, I am a big league reliever. This is the focus. Right. This is what I'm going to be doing. This is how I'm going to prepare my body in the offseason.
Coming into the 2016 season, I had sat down with John after the 15 season, and he had told me, hey, we're going to keep you reliever coming into next season, and we're going to move forward in that direction.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? That's fine. We'll go that route. I'll do what I can. Honestly, the offseason preparation really isn't. It's not that much different. You don't have to throw as extended necessarily because you don't have to build up to 100 pitches.
Yep.
I got to be ready for hopefully under 30.
Right.
But other than that, the weightlifting, the running, and all that stuff, it's predominantly the same thing.
Yeah.
But it was coming into the 2016 season was when I was like, all right, I'm a reliever, and we're going this path. So,
a lot has been made about the usage of Red Sox pitchers in this past spring training because of how deep a lot of you, or how many innings you guys threw in October, and a lot of you just weren't used to that type of workload. Was there something that you didn't do in the offseason that you normally do in the offseason to sort of give your body a little bit of a breather?
Yeah, the only thing, I usually start throwing the middle of November, the second week in November. I don't like to take too much time off. I had a couple years ago when I got banged up in spring training, and I started throwing the first week in December. And I feel like when I started throwing then, I ramped up really quickly to be ready for the start of spring training. Now starting in the middle of November, it gives me the extra 2 weeks where I can really take my time to kind of get ready. But other than that, I mean, the only thing that I changed was pushed everything back. So as opposed to starting in the middle of November, I started at the beginning of December.
Did you feel that in April, though? When you come into April, fresh out of spring, or March this year, did you feel a difference in sort of, not fatigue or anything, but just shoulder strength?
Honestly, not really. I think they did a really good job. And as relievers, it's easier for us to get ready for a season. I mean, I think I threw in 5 or 6 games this year, and honestly, that was fine because I don't need to build the stamina to be able to go 5, 6, 7, 8 innings. You know, my arm strength has to be there to throw 1, maybe 2 innings.
Yeah.
And you can build arm strength playing catch. It's just being off the mound and kind of getting the feel mechanically and for your secondary pitches is the hardest thing when you don't have as much time off the mound.
Mm-hmm.
But as a reliever, as long as you have your arm strength, more times than not, you're going to be all right. Like I said, you can build that just playing catch.
Speaking of arm strength, do you remember the first time that you registered at 90 miles an hour on the gun? How old were you?
I was, what was it, senior high school?
Yeah.
Junior summer of high school, maybe.
Yeah. Was it a scout that told you, or was there like a ballpark radar?
Might have been my coaches who told me after the game.
Yeah. They didn't want to gas you up in mid-start.
No.
Then you're just going to go out there and try and top 9.
Yeah. It was either junior summer or senior in high school.
Yeah.
Was when I first did it.
What was your most dominant start at the high school level? You ever throw a no-hitter?
Yes, but I don't think that was my most dominant start.
No?
No.
Cocky.
I threw a no-hitter my senior year, but I had a game against New Milford where I punched out 17
in 7 innings.
Some Chris Sale type stuff.
Yeah, 17
right?
punch outs. Only have 21 outs to get.
Right, except his is in the big league, so it's a little bit cooler.
It's a little different.
Yeah, it's a little cooler.
Yeah.
And I hit a triple that scored the only run.
So you could swing it a little bit.
I was okay.
You single-handedly won the game.
I'm not going to be one of those guys who's out here. I can break.
Yeah.
I could.
Yeah.
I was an all right hitter.
Yeah. Did you have any home runs in college?
Never hit in college. Not
Okay.
one AB. My last I was going to say I had an AB in Arizona.
Yeah, you did.
Saw it well.
Yeah.
Didn't swing. Saw it well. Tracked it well.
I was going to say, even if you had like one knock in college, that would have been more than AC. AC had 0 college home runs.
Did he really?
0.
No, I had none. They didn't let me hit. I didn't even hit my summer team after my sophomore year. They stopped letting me hit.
Probably for the best. So you're in favor of the universal DH?
Yeah. I really don't want to hit.
No, you're not trying to see 98 with movement or
No.
104 if you're talking like Jordan Hicks in 104 with movement.
No.
Before we started recording, I was asking you about me being a New England guy, you being a New England guy, how there's not many Northeast guys to make it to the big leagues. And that's for good reason. Like, it sucks. It's so hard. Like, we were talking about like high school baseball tryouts. Like, if you're an outfielder and they're hitting balls off like the hardwood like basketball courts, it's not the same game. Like, you're practicing for a completely different game.
Without a doubt.
Like the guys, it's basically the hotbeds for big leaguers: Florida, California, and Texas. Like, those are where the big boys are at. So for you, was there was there doubt in your mind, but was there a point where you were like, all right, I'm coming out of a place where definitely not the best competition in the world, so how do I stack up against these guys that are playing year-round?
Oh, you find a way, man. I mean, I think that's one of the things that a lot of guys from the Northeast or colder states you take pride in that stuff. We can't be outside for 4 months of the year, 5 months of the year playing ball. You know, we got 30-degree weather if we're lucky. Yeah. And a foot of snow on the ground. So, like you said, I mean, you find ways. You go to an academy and you're playing catch inside on the turf, you know, and throwing on a wooden mound, taking grounders. I mean, we were talking about it. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'd be inside taking grounders off a metal fungo on a wooden hardwood floor.
It's a nightmare.
And just getting crushed and eaten up. And you're like, man, this is not fun.
Like, you quickly forget the competition in high school, especially if it's not like an elite type area. These kids are coming in from art class, and then they're taking these seeds off like a hardwood floor and getting smoked in the face because they're just not ready for it.
You know what? You find a way, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, you find a way. And I still to this day, I'll go outside and I'll play catch, and if it's above 30 and there's no snow on the ground, I'll play catch outside. Yeah, throw a hoodie on and whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, because you're gonna be playing it in October.
The last
in Boston.
6 weeks, with the exception of today.
Yeah, no, it's been a nightmare everywhere that we've been.
It's been 40 with a light mist.
Yes, every day. Literally,
in our element.
We left New York City. What was it? Yesterday morning. It was beautiful out. We get off the train, 40 degrees, raining. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is a nightmare. Yep. So we talked about like the whole aspect of you transitioning into a reliever from a starter. But last October, there was a lot of doubt surrounding the Red Sox bullpen, and then the Red Sox bullpen was one of their biggest strengths. I mean, you guys were rolling on all cylinders, but the Red Sox bullpen, it was almost like a snap of the fingers. And what was it, Game 2, where Joe Kelly came out and he just kind of set the tone, and then everyone else just followed suit. Did you guys, when everyone was doubting the Red Sox chances to win a World Series with the bullpen as it was, was there like a meeting with you guys being like, let's just prove them wrong? Or like, what was it? Because something clicked that wasn't happening in September.
Yeah, I think... I mean, first and foremost, I think that it fuels you. I mean, that's when everybody thinks that you're the reason why you won't win a World Series, it makes you want to prove everybody wrong infinitely more. And I think, I mean, our bullpen was one of the best bullpens in the league for the majority of the year. Mm-hmm. And I think what happened was we ran into a slump as a whole in, what was it, like late August, September where everybody kind of struggled at once, which made it seem infinitely worse. As opposed to, if you got one or two guys struggling and everybody else is going good, then you're typically fine. And I think that's kind of what happened. And we got to October, and I think we'd had a lot of guys who had pitched in the postseason before down there. Us having been there the last 2 years, and Joe had played in the World Series. Craig had been in the postseason. Workman in the, you're talking about guys who
getting at bats in the World Series.
Getting at bats in the World Series. Coming into last year, I think he had more at bats than like 90% of our team in the World Series, which is insane. But you draw off that and the experience that you had, and when you look down there across the board, we had guys who had some filthy stuff. And I think everybody just kind of locked it in, and
like if you weren't blowing 97, you were kind of a chump.
Right. I mean, everybody threw hard. Everybody threw hard. And everybody had good stuff, and everybody was able to lock it in, and we got hot. And I don't think nobody had doubts inside the clubhouse about what we could do. It just it seemed worse because, like I said, that happened at a time leading up to when we couldn't do that anymore. So.
No, it was time to cut the shit once October rolled around. But so now, like, we're talking about the evolution of Matt Barnes being starter, reliever. But am I a reliever? Okay, I am a reliever. And what's my role? So now, like, at the beginning of this year, when you got your first save, I mean, a lot of people thought, because in spring training, AC is not naming a closer, right? And then you get the first save opportunity, you get it, it's like, all right, well, that makes sense. Like, Matt Barnes, he's a strikeout guy. He's the closer now. But now it's just still, there's no role. Like, no one knows who's coming out in the 7th, the 8th, the 9th. Are you a guy that wants to know what your inning is, or are you just like, call me and I'm ready?
I think the way that we've kind of gone now, I think it makes sense. I mean, I do get it. As opposed to having a specific inning, I have a role that I know when I'm going to pitch.
High leverage. So, like the other night, it's like you pitched 2 innings the night before. And then bases are loaded, nobody's out, Eddie comes out of the game. You're going to go to, like, I don't know if you agree with it or not, but I kind of do with the way that he's sort of managed the bullpen, where the biggest outs of the game are not in the 9th inning. Or they could be, but they're not always there. So it's like, you might not be the quote-unquote closer, and we're not talking about the save statistic, but you go out there, bases loaded, nobody out in the 7th.
And blow it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it is like that's basically crowning you as you're not like, no one's the closer, but you're sort of the relief ace. Like, you're the guy that I'm going to when it's like, fuck, we need to get out of this. And then you come in there. So I think, well, how have you sort of taken to that? Like, would you rather be like, all right, the 9th inning is mine, like, I want to rack up saves, versus I want to be trusted when the game is on the line?
Yeah, I'm cool with either one. I've never really had a stable role out of the pen. It's kind of been anything and everything under the sun. Guys on 9th inning, 8th inning, 6th inning, throwing 2 innings, getting 1 out. And given the fact that that's kind of how my whole career has been, doing it again this year, just knowing that it's going to be the hardest situations. I don't think it really changes anything. My mindset's the same. I kind of have an idea of when I'm going to pitch, even though it's not a specific inning. I know based off the situation of the game and who's coming up. And I'm totally fine with it, man. I really am. I've said anything and everything this team needs, and whenever AC and Dana decide that they need me to go out there and pitch is when I'm going to pitch, and whatever I can do, honestly.
So how do you go from starter draft pick to reliever just to get a spot on the roster to committed reliever to postseason hero to now a guy that literally has struck out half the batters that he's faced in 2019? Like, how does that happen?
Busting my ass, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me probably a year and a half to really figure out how to pitch in the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got up here, I had to learn how to be a reliever,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to learn how to get guys out at the big league level.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, shit, man, this is tough.
Right.
This is tough. And it took me a little while to figure it out. I feel like I've figured out what I'm trying to do as a pitcher, and I know how to attack guys and get guys out using my stuff now and how to best utilize that stuff. And it takes time and it takes hard work. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
We've kind of every offseason we kind of tweak the program a little bit, the weightlifting program to really specifically kind of address whatever the needs are after the season, and then coming into the year, you kind of build off of last year. Like last year, I did a lot of things really good that I loved, and there were some things that I hated.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was pissed at myself that I had like a 14 walk per 9.
I heard that about you, by the way, that no one is harder on Matt Barnes than Matt Barnes. That you are very, very hard on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be in this game. I mean, you have to take things with a grain of salt, but you also have to be really hard on yourself.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to give you the chance to earn some brownie points here. For a guy that is very, very hard on himself, you're a married man now.
Yep.
How is it different for you going home to that support system versus not having that before, after like a bad game or something?
Yeah, I mean, no, she's incredible. Listen, after a bad game, sometimes she understands it.
Just run, stand under the couch.
Yeah, no, she does everything she can. She's like, "Do I need to do anything? What do you need?" And I'm like, sometimes I need just some space and just sit there. But she's great. I mean, she's got her own career in which she's flourishing and she's doing her own thing, and the ability for both of us to have our own careers separately and being successful, I think, really allows us to kind of talk about that and bounce things off each other. Not to mention she's a PT, so it really helps me in the off season. I can call the wife over and say, "Babe, can I get some work done, please? Anything I need."
I mean, you guys are gonna breed like big leaguers. She's like 6'1".
That's the plan.
How tall is she actually?
I think she's 5'8", maybe.
No,
5'9".
She's gotta be taller than that.
She might be 5'9".
All right, then she was wearing heels. She was out there. She was collecting money for donations with Brock Holt's wife and David Price's wife.
Yeah, she's definitely tall, though.
I mean, like, I'm 5'10", and I'm pretty sure she was taller than me.
We both have the legs.
Yeah.
It's the legs.
Yeah, you guys are going to breed some big leaguers.
That's the plan.
That is the plan.
That's the plan.
So I asked this question to Rick and Sale. I'll ask it to you. You have your repertoire of pitches.
Yep.
You have to dump one of your pitches, and you get to adopt that same pitch of someone else in the big leagues. Whose pitch are you taking? But you got to lose yours.
I'm losing my changeup.
Okay. Who's you taking?
What pitch am I taking?
Yeah. It would be like you're taking Clayton Kershaw's changeup or something like that.
Oh, so it's got to be a
active player in the league.
So
you're
I have
dumping
to,
one of yours.
dump my changeup and take somebody else's changeup.
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh.
Like, who do you think has like the filthiest changeup that you wish you had?
Castillo's got a pretty nasty changeup. The starter
Cincinnati?
from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
He's got a nasty changeup.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a righty because a lefty wouldn't make any sense.
Righty changeup. I mean, Verlander changes speed's pretty good.
Verlander's got a good changeup.
Yeah.
Not a lot of guys who throw changeups out of the. I guess it could be starters.
Yeah. Could be anybody.
Let's stick with his. I'll stick with Castillo's changeup.
Okay. All right. That one's not bad.
It thing's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
It moves like a foot and a half.
Yeah. To this point in your career.
Maybe I'll dump the fastball and take Jordan Hicks.
Yeah. Everybody says that.
Who is it? Forward sink.
We asked Durbin Feltman. He was the draft pick out of TCU last year.
Yep.
He was like the top collegiate closer in the draft. And I asked him the same question. He was like, I'm taking 104.
Yeah, 104 with turbo sink.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that wouldn't be terrible. So the last question here. What do you think so far to this point has been your defining moment in the big leagues? It can't be a team thing, so you throw out the World Series win. Like, what has been your defining moment, Matt Barnes, as an individual?
Ooh. My specific defining moment.
Like, when did you think to yourself, what up, work?
What's up, man? How you doing?
When did you have a moment to yourself where it was like, I'm here, I'm a big leaguer, I'm comfortable now, I'm confident in myself, like you just proved to yourself and everybody else, like, this is it?
I think that's a tough question. Damn.
Because, I mean, like, I'm thinking back to, like, Joe Kelly when, he's coming off the mound in the World Series in Game 5, just, like, screaming. It's like, he talked about that. He was like, that was my shove it up your ass to everyone who's ever doubted me type deal. What was that moment for you?
One of the sickest moments, I think, was in Houston in the postseason last year.
Yeah.
Coming in to face Tyler White, 2-run game, 2 outs, man, on second and third.
Yeah.
And striking him out looking.
Yep.
I think that one, to me, I was like, hell yeah. I was like, hell yeah. That's a huge spot in the series, man. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's stick with that one.
All right. I like that.
I think anything in the postseason, man. The Yankees here.
Yeah.
That one to me was...
That was a quick one. That was just like, whatever. Thanks for coming out type deal. I just thought of one last question, actually.
Okay.
You're a Connecticut guy.
Yep.
I'm sure you have a lot of friends that are Red Sox fans, a lot of friends that are Yankee fans. How many Yankee fans that you're friends with from back home did you convert to Red Sox fans because of you?
Almost all of them.
Really?
Almost all of them.
Huh.
There's a couple left that are still Yankee fans.
Yeah.
But they root for me.
Okay. So, like, they wouldn't be caught dead wearing Red Sox stuff during, like, the division series last year, but they still hope that you do well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and even some of them now they're coming along.
They're coming along.
They're
It's
coming
like,
along.
Yeah, I mean, like, they like the whole, like, rooting for a champion thing. All right, I feel
Yep.
that. All right, Matt Barnes, Matty Backpacks, it's in the books, debut. We're going to have you back again soon because
Let's do it.
My co-host, Coley Mick, he's 7 feet tall. One of the things that we like to do is when Coley's here and we have a guest on is he'll try to challenge them to some sort of event. Like he beat Joe Kelly in a staring contest. He beat JD Martinez in rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
So I don't know what he would have for you, but like maybe it's like tic-tac-toe, maybe it's something like that. But
okay.
So be ready.
All right.
Be prepared. It's
We'll do it.
It's gonna be a gauntlet. All right.
Awesome,
Thank you so
man.
much.